exciting section we are going to do today. And 10.5 is about the surface area of pyramids and cones. Right, so vertices you're already familiar with. The lateral faces you're familiar with as well. Just remember that the lateral faces are going to be the faces that do not include the base or bases. We're doing pyramids and cones, so we'll only have one base today. And remember, the name of the pyramid depends on what its base is. So see how the base of this pyramid is a hexagon? So this would be a hexagonal pyramid. Okay, this one we call regular. You can see that the height is going to have that perpendicular line here. Okay, and then if it's non-regular, it's just skewed. We're going to have a new term that's called the slant height. Okay, so the slant height is going to be the height from the top to the bottom of one of the faces. Okay, and this is what it would look like on a square pyramid. So we're going to talk about the lateral area and surface area of a regular pyramid. So to find the lateral area of a regular pyramid, you need to know the perimeter and you need to know the slant height. So like I said, that slant height is going to be the height on your 3D shape that goes from the top to the bottom of the face. That's different from the height. Let's see if this fits in. So the height, think of this height as my pen. So the height of the actual shape would go from the center of the base to the top. Okay, my pen would represent what the actual height is, and then the slant height is going to be what's on the outside. Okay, so that's the difference between them. So you have a slant height, and then you have the regular height. The slant height is denoted with the cursive lowercase l, and then the capital P still stands for the perimeter of the base. When you have a pyramid, then the surface area is going to be 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height plus the base. So this is similar to the equation that we had yesterday, except yesterday, what was the only thing extra that we had? There was something in front of the base.
Oh, base times 2.
It was the base times 2. So let's think about why that was. So yesterday we did a cylinder and we did a prism. So a cylinder and a prism both have how many bases? 2, right? A cone and a pyramid are only going to have what? 1 base. Okay, so this part is the same for both of them. It's still the lateral area, and then again you're going to add the area of the base. All right, so let's go to our next page. Yeah, so part of that got cut off, so I just wrote it in for you. It says to find the lateral area and surface area of each regular pyramid, and then you're going to round to the nearest tenth if that is necessary. So you have a regular square pyramid with a base edge length of 14 centimeters, okay, and a slant height of 25 centimeters. Okay, so you're given the edge length and you're given the slant height. So we already know that my slant height is going to be 25 centimeters. And then we're going to draw a picture to represent this situation. Okay, so one thing you can do when you're drawing your picture is you can just draw like a parallelogram as your base. I'm going to start down here. So and then usually the back side is going to be dotted. And then you just put a point for your pyramid, and then you can use a straight edge to draw your point to each vertice. Did you guys ever draw 3D shapes in art, or any of you in art this year? Or you guys do more fun things than that and draw 3D shapes? Okay, so then here's my pyramid, and then 14 is going to be my edge length. Now if I wanted to draw in what my slant height is, okay, your slant height is going to form a right angle, and that would be 25. Alright, so now I'm going to use my equation. So the lateral area equals half times the perimeter times the slant height. Alright, I already know what my slant height is. Now I have to find my perimeter. Grace, how are we going to find the perimeter?
By the slant height.
Nope, so you're going to...
By add 14 times 4.
Yeah, good. Okay, so why 14 times 4?
Because it's a square, so all sides are equal.
Good. Okay, so it's going to be a square, so we know all sides are 14. There's 4 of them, so we're going to multiply those together. Okay, ways that you can multiply without your calculator is you can multiply by whole numbers. So like if you do 10 times 4, what do you get? 40, and then 4 times 4 is 16. So if you just add 40 plus 16, you'll know that when you multiply, you get 56. Okay, and then we can just go ahead and substitute in our values. So now I'm going to have 56 times 25. And then sometimes what I'll do if I see there's an even number, I'll multiply that together first. So what's half of 56? So you can do half of 50, which is 25, and then half of 6, which is 3. So 25 plus 3 will be 28. So then I can just multiply 28 times 25, which ends up being what? 700. Okay, and we're finding the lateral area, so this is going to be in centimeters squared. Okay, now the surface area is equal to the lateral area plus the area of the base. Okay, so to find the area of the base, we have a square, and we know the side length is 14. Okay, so Xavier, how am I going to find that area? Good, okay, so it's just going to be 14 times 14, or 14 squared, which in this case is 196. So the area of the base is going to be 196. So 700 plus 196 is going to give you 896. Alright, and then we'll head over to the next example, which is the surface area of pyramids and cones. Continue. So here we have 2 cones. Okay, again, for each one you have one vertice that's at the top, and then this is called the lateral surface because it's curved. That's something you know from your vocab sheet. And then again you have the slant height. So the height that goes from the center of the base to the top, that's your height H. Okay, the one that goes from the top down the side of the cone is your slant height. Okay, so that is your fancy L. Okay, now if it's oblique, then you're going to have not a straight line going down the center, right? It'll be slanted here. Okay. And then for the lateral and surface area of a right cone, the first thing we want to pay attention to is the lateral area, which is pi times r times L. Okay, so you have pi times r because if you multiply 1/2 by 2, you get 1. That's why you have just pi r and not 2 pi r. And then for the surface area, remember it's still the lateral area plus the area of the base. So the area for the base, since the base is a circle, we know that pi r squared is going to go in for the area of the base. Okay, so your area is pi r squared there. That's where this pi r squared comes from. All right, and then let's put this into practice. Okay, and we are going to do 2 examples. So I know this says just part A, but we are going to do part B as well. Okay, so for example 2, it says find the lateral area and surface area of each cone. And the first one is a right cone with a radius of 9 and then a slant height of 5. Okay, so again, we'll just draw a representation. So when you're drawing a cone, you can start by just drawing a curve. Basically, it's like a slice of pizza first, right? Got the curved crust edge and then the pointy top. And then to curve it around here, you're just finishing that circle. So you just do a, sorry, that's really light. You just do a light dashed line behind it. And they tell you what the radius is, so that goes from the center to the edge. That would be 9. And then your slant height, which is on the outside, would be your 5 centimeters. So we now know that the lateral area is pi times the radius times the slant height. And lucky for us, those values are both given. So you already know your radius is 9 and your slant height is 5. Okay, and you can just keep this in terms of pi. So this would be 45 pi centimeters squared. Okay, and then your surface area is always going to be the lateral area plus the area of the base, which in this case our base is a circle, which is why we have pi r squared. So I have 45 pi from the lateral area, and then I have pi 9 squared. Once I plug in the radius, what's 9 squared going to be? 81. So then when I add 81 to 45, I get 126 pi. And then again, don't forget your units. This would be centimeters squared. Okay, now those ones were nice because we had everything that we needed, but that's not always going to happen. Okay, so for part B, we have a right cone with radius 6 centimeters and height 9 centimeters. And then we're going to round our answer to the nearest 10. Okay, now for our equation, we have the lateral area equal the slant height. Okay? The height is what is 9 centimeters. The slant height is what I need. Okay, so I need to solve let's say 2 to find the slant height. Okay, so let's figure out what we're going to have to use to solve. So if you know it, just hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to draw a visual representation. That way, if you don't know, hopefully you can figure it out. So again, remember you're going to start by drawing the pizza. And you can put in the back here. Okay, so the radius is what is 6 centimeters. And the height goes from the center to the top. Okay, that's what's 9. And remember, because it's the height, that you are going to have a right angle there. And then you have to find the slant height, which is here. Brandon, do you know what you have to use? Yeah, and you can use it because you have a what? You have a right triangle here. Can you guys see how this setup is going to be a right triangle? Okay, so we're going to solve by using the Pythagorean theorem. It never goes away, does it? And it never will. Okay, so then this part is 6, this part is 9, this is your slant height. Okay, so you're going to set up your equation. So go ahead, set up your equation, and then solve for L. So you already do that? Okay, so Ethan, what's your equation going to look like?
It is pi times 9 times 5.
Wait, say it again.
Pi times 9 times 5.
Oh, what's the equation going to look like for the Pythagorean theorem?
Oh, that.
Yes.
It's 9 times 6 equals C
So it'll have to be, so make sure you square them.
squared.
So it has to be 9 squared plus 6 squared, and that's going to equal your slant height squared. So this is your A, this is your B, this is your C, and then we're going to solve that for L. Okay, so Jackie, what do I get when I simplify this side?
Which one, 9 squared?
Yep.
9 squared, you get 81.
Plus?
36.
Yep. And then did you calculate what that will be? Good. So then if I have L squared, how do I find out what L is? Did you say it? Yeah, square root. Yep, you're going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this as the square root of 117 because I don't want to round until the very end. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as an exact answer for right now. So when I find the lateral area, I'm going to have pi times my radius, which is 6, multiplied by my slant height, which is the square root of 117. Okay, and then once I do that, I will round to the nearest tenth. So I have pi times 6 times the square root of 117. And then if I'm rounding that, what I got was 203.88. So if I'm rounding to the tenths place, all I have to look at is this number behind it, and that tells me that I'm going to do what? Round up. Okay, so the lateral area is approximately 203.9 centimeters squared. All and then I'm going to find the surface area. So to find the surface area, I'm going to do the lateral area plus pi r squared, because that's the area. So I'll get 203.9 from my previous work, and then my radius is 6. So I'm going to end up adding what I got previously to 36 pi. Okay, and if you keep your answer in your calculator, you can go ahead and just do 36 pi, add that to your answer. Okay, and you're going to get 316, and it's 0.98. So again, you have to look at that number. When you have that 8, what does it push the 9 up to? A 0, and it pushes this up to a 7, right? So when you write your answer, because remember it's rounded, it's 317.0. Okay, it's a rounded answer. It's not just 317. Okay, and that's also centimeters squared. All right, I'm going to give you your homework, and then I'm going to have you clear everything off except for correcting utensils so we can go over your last quiz, which you guys did very well on. Okay, so 10.5 is 1 through 11? 693. And this is on page 693. Okay, so once you have